Hey everyone, in today's video I'll be flying the brand new Horizon Simulation 787-9 on a transatlantic flight from Oslo in Norway over to Miami in Florida. Okay, welcome to Oslo's Gardermoen Airport, the busiest airport in Scandinavia. Today we're flying the Horizon Simulation 787-9, which is a new aircraft. It will be releasing tomorrow. It's sort of freeware, i.e. you need the premium deluxe version to use it, but aside from that it's a free upgrade. Now this airport is really nice, available off flightsim.to, linked down below. As GSX loads up this aircraft, let's talk about what's different. Well, as you can see, it's an entirely different model. A new 787 variant is fantastic to see. With that you get new flight model changes, new sounds and 2 engine variants, including Rolls-Royce and General Electric. Now in today's video I won't be talking too much, it's more of a cinematic full flight. I'll come into the critical stages and speak about it, but before we get anywhere, be sure you like, comment and subscribe. Just before we start our pre-flight checks going around the aircraft, I want you to do your pre-flight checks by smashing the subscribe button down below. We're trying to hit 30,000 subscribers by the end of this year. As I check the engines and flight surfaces out, I want to make sure you've all pressed that button if you have not already. On that note, let's finish looking around this aircraft and then we'll get everything loaded up. Right, so as we load everything into the MCDU FMC, I forgot what this is actually called, it's gone completely out of my head. I do know one thing, I know that I cheated with it. I'm using SimBrief to pull in my flight plan off the internet today. It's just too long. This is almost a 10-hour flight. I think our block time is 10 hours 15 minutes. And of course I'm using the wonderful SimBrief panel to copy all our important and critical weights over. That's a really handy add-on. I've featured it on the channel before. As we get everything else set up, I'm going to shut up. It won't be long before we push back, but before we do, GSX kindly reminded me that I need to de-ice the aircraft. So that's exactly what you're going to see in a moment. Ice all out of the way, let's get those 2 beautiful engines started up and let's get going. It's time to fly now, lining up on Oslo's 01 left. So a really beautiful departure out of Oslo today, really stunning views. We fly basically due east as soon as we depart Oslo after flying north for a few moments. Once we've left Norwegian airspace, we sort of track down to Scotland, flying over the North Sea before heading onto one of the North Atlantic tracks over to the US of A. I'm not going to show us flying over the Atlantic too much because it's boring, so let's get across there. So after a good few hours over the Atlantic, 4 or 5 I believe it was, we finally reached the Eastern Seaboard of the United States of America before, of course, before that we passed over Greenland and a tiny bit of Canada. Some really beautiful views as we passed over, or very close to New York, but it wasn't too long before we needed to begin our descent down into Miami. Now, Florida may be the sunshine state, but it definitely wasn't that today. It was really, really miserable, as you'll see as we head towards the ground. So the Horizon Simulations team have done a really smashing job with this aircraft. The Boeing 787-9 is very good. Admittedly, that's been helped out because a lot of the changes brought to the 787 by Working Title and Asobo as part of AAU2. But that's not to downplay Horizon Simulations' fantastic work. They've gone above and beyond. Unlike my landing in this video, which was terrible. In fact, we have a go around, as you see in the moment, a very, very late go around, before coming back round, and I believe where we hit the tail into the runway. Now, replay tool does admittedly make it look a little bit worse than I believe it was, because this aircraft does actually have a tail strike sensor, and that didn't go off, so who knows, maybe we didn't do that. But as we land at Miami, hopefully you'll see my very dodgy 787 flying skills. That being said, an exceptionally fun flight today, flying 10 hours across the Atlantic Ocean from a beautiful country of Norway over to a rather miserable Miami today.
CCC heading 090, contact approach today. Heading 090, departure 1255, great day, Motherboard 322. Tower 709, contact below tower 120.2 today. Over tower, take care, Southwest 709.
50, 40, 30, 20, 10.
Miami approach, 91, November 7, 7,
Landing here. Landing here. Landing here. Landing here.
Skyfall 230, 17, 2000. 2000, Skyfall 230.
500.
610 Golf Delta, reduced to 210, traffic will be 10 o'clock, 5 miles northwestbound, the Bonanza, they're at 800 kilometers due. 210 knots, we're looking for 610 Golf Delta. 942 Bravo Alpha, contact executive tower 120.9, good end. Over to deck tower, 47. CCC heading 090, contact approach today. Heading 090, departure 1255, great day, Motherboard 322. Tower 709, contact below tower 120.2 today. Open tower, take care. Southwest 709. Miami approach, would like to call November 7 Bravo Alpha, be approximately. Okay. Skyfall 230 is 17 2000. 2000, Skyfall 230. Alright, 610 Golf Delta, reduce for the 210, traffic will be 10 o'clock, 5 miles northwestbound to Bonanza, they're at 800 kilometers. 200 at 10 knots, we are looking for Pacific Hotel. Now 42 Bravo Alpha, Pacific Executive Tower 120.9 cadence. Over to Exec Tower, 42 Bravo.
So there we have it, guys. The big question is, would this aircraft live to fly another day? Well, hopefully it would, after I'd go back to Oslo and get a bollocking off my chief pilot. That being said, aside from that minor issue at the end of the flight, it has been a flight without any big issues. The sims run smoothly, the aircraft's great, and the scenery has been fantastic. I really hope you've enjoyed this video. If you have, do be sure to like, comment and subscribe. It's been a pleasure to fly with you today. Sadly, we don't find ourselves taxiing into any gate in this video today, although I did do it in the sim. I don't show it in this video simply because GSX said all the default Miami gates are too small for this aircraft, so we headed over to a cargo one and that looked a bit naff. On that note, guys, thank you very much for watching. I hope you've enjoyed this video. Do share your thoughts down below. Forever to film and make this video. On that note, guys, I'll see you very soon. Have a brilliant day, happy flying, and bye bye.